Hello, everybody, and on this occasion of Teachers' Day, we would like to wish you a very happy Teachers' Day. Well, teaching in the new normal is very different. The pandemic has had an irreversible effect on all sectors across the world. The education sector has seen a huge paradigm shift. From physical classroom teaching to playing sports, everything is now online. It might seem effortless, but the immense effort that teachers across the globe have put in is absolutely commendable. Thank you so much, teachers, for doing what you do for us. I'm Anchal Gupta, the founder of healthx247.com. We are an exclusive healthcare e-commerce website with finely curated products on health, wellness, fitness, lifestyle. Today we have here with us Dr. Harish Badikar. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Harish. Dr. Harish is a physiotherapist and he's also the Director of Operations at Barry's Castle. And he's had a vast experience of over 13 years in treating and providing physical therapy care with respect to posture and ergonomics. Dr. Harish, thank you so much for being here with us today. And Dr. Harish is going to give us insights specifically for teachers and especially for them to adapt to this new normal on how they should be, sitting and correcting their posture with respect to ergonomics so that they can prevent neck pain, back pain, and all those things. Thank you so much, Dr. Harish. We really look forward to listening from you.
Thank you so much, Achal, for this initiative. And, when it comes to Teachers' Day, all the flashback memories of my childhood days are kind of coming back. And I'm going to miss all my teachers big time. So I believe without teachers, professionals wouldn't exist. And a big thank you to all the mentors and my teachers who have been a part of my doing. And as you rightly said, Achal, taking up these huge responsibilities of children, going into completely online mode because of the huge pressure and the demand because of this COVID phase has been equally stressful and challenging for the teachers also. Really? So it's a great step what you have done, and I am very privileged and it's a pleasure, whatever extent we can help the community of teachers for the work they are doing. I think that is something I have to thank you for that initiative. So thank you so much once again for having me.
Super. Yes, Dr. Harish. So I would like to know from you, actually, what is ergonomics and how important it is really to empower teachers about ergonomics?
Right. So, Achal, when we look at ergonomics, or even when I hear ergonomics, all we usually think of is corporates, offices. Right, so this is the standard concept we have in our mind, but we overlook and we forget the fact that ergonomics applies to every aspect of your life, be it professional or personal lifestyle. And when we talk about community of teachers also, it does apply to them very strongly. Now imagine teachers for 5 years, 15 years, 20 years, they have been into teaching field and their classrooms are designed specifically for one-to-one teaching or the classroom teaching what they have been used to. So ergonomics is all about, it's a science, it's a field of science which is going to help us to understand your working environment better. If there is any need to modify the environment to suit the user needs or user demands, that will eventually help the person or the professional to work efficiently, to increase their productivity by minimizing the health hazards. Right? So when I look at ergonomics, I look at classroom settings, I look at teachers which form a huge community with who share a huge responsibility. Classrooms were never designed for online classes. Absolutely. But yes, because of the unpredictability of COVID, we don't know how things are going to, go ahead. And it would also not be very wise to stop, and wait for the COVID to end. We lose on to this golden period where children may miss out on their essential education. So in a very short period of time, I think teachers have done fabulous job by adopting to these changes, something where they had never done it before, as a part of core teaching. So it's a salute to them, ensuring the education is passed, the curriculum is passed across the parents and children through this medium of technology. So it's very important to empower teachers to understand how are they going to use their existing resources whether they are working from their school setup. I know many teachers are still working from the school
Yes.
setup,
Yes.
and many teachers are working from their home setup,
Yes.
working from home to conduct these classes. So
Yes.
I personally feel this is one reason why empowering teachers is so important when it comes to ergonomics, so
Very
that
well.
they are efficient and they are productive, and they don't get into this risk of health hazards because of wrong postures, just in a gist or a pressure to perform their roles and responsibilities.
True, right? I mean, as you rightly said, Dr. Harish, teachers have adapted so beautifully to such a difficult task of
Absolutely.
teaching online, which they were never used to. I mean, it's a real salute to all teachers out there for doing
Absolutely.
that. Could you please highlight some general
Absolutely,
guidelines?
Achal.
Yep. Could you please highlight some general guidelines for posture?
Yes. So I would like to do comparison, trying to imagine and visualize what teachers were doing pre-COVID phase and what's the situation now.
Yeah.
So if we understand, our human body is supposed to move, and teachers used to spend a lot of time or hours teaching by, in a posture where they used to stand
Yes.
most of the time during their schooling hours, and they used to move, and they used to reach out from one corner of the bench to the other corner of the bench, and that's how the interaction would happen, right? So the teachers were having so much freedom of movement, and suddenly when we expect now teachers are supposed to sit for hours together to finish this 3 or 4 Zoom sessions, it's very challenging for them to constrain and not have this freedom of movement. So yes, we don't have an option. We have a technology, a mobile or a laptop, which will be a bridge to connect the teachers and the children for this classes to happen. So first thing, what is important is, if you are going to work at your home or in your school, make sure you choose a place which is very comfortable, accessible, and it is brightly lit.
Right.
Okay, wherever you're going to work, make sure there is good aeration, there is good fresh air blowing in, there is natural light, and it's equally pleasant for the eyes. That is number one.
Right.
Second, choose an appropriate device. See, not many teachers would have access to laptops. Maybe some category of teachers may have access to laptops. So even if you're using a mobile phone, make sure you align or position the mobile phone. Maybe you want to use mobile tools like those holders and all,
Yes.
and you align the phone in such a way that your head or your vision level is in plane or in line with the phone. It's not too high or it's not too low where you have to excessively bend down constantly or look up, because you are going to attain or sustain that position for straight 45 minutes throughout your Zoom session.
Yes.
Unlikely in before COVID time, you had the liberty to move around, look around, and perform these natural movements.
Yes.
So first, yes, the distance should be at least 1 arm distance. You should be seated with 1 arm distance. Your device should be 1 arm away, not too close, not too far. Should be easily accessible by stretching your arm. Second, the level of the device, as I said, should be within your visual level. Number 2. Second, try to be seated on a chair which has a firm base, not too. If it is too soft, you may end up sinking your weight down,
Right.
which can again alter your natural curves of your back. And if it is too firm, again you will not be comfortable to teach for that longer hours. An appropriate armrest and a backrest is something I would really recommend. Don't sit on a stool, don't sit on a chair which does not have an armrest, which does not have a backrest. So make sure you have an armrest. If you don't have an armrest, make sure your arms are resting on the table when you're working.
That's very insightful.
If you're typing something.
Right. Sorry, we
Right.
lost your voice for a second.
Okay. No, what I was saying actually is, choose an appropriate chair which has an armrest. If you don't have a chair which has a good armrest,
Yes.
let your arms rest on the table.
Right.
Okay, that also helps.
Okay.
I have seen many teachers, where the phone is kept at certain position, at certain angle, and they are literally, they don't have an armrest and their hands are taken up, and then they are typing and making their presentation, which is again
Huge strain.
not a good posture to look at. Yeah, it's going to strain your neck. And I have seen, some teachers or some professionals, they will keep their phone inclined at their bed and they will be excessively bending their neck, because they don't have table or whatever.
Right.
So it's very important. Neutrality is important.
Right.
No excessive flexion, no excessive extension.
Correct.
Both ways your neck should not bend, either ways. Make sure your neck is straight, your spine is straight. So basically, yes, Achal, when we look at posture, anything which bends is not good. Okay.
Right.
And when we look at teachers spending 40 to 45 minutes over Zoom sessions, I would definitely not recommend any bending postures at the low back, upper back, or at the cervical spine. Excessive bending or even tilting by 10-15 degrees may lead to strain. Okay, so make sure your spine is straight, you have good armrest, you have good backrest, and more importantly, make it sit in such a way that your feet are in contact with the ground, they are not hanging, they are not crossing each other, and you have a firm base.
Right.
Okay, so that is something as a basic guideline I would look at.
Correct.
And I'm sure, coming from that field, Achal, would you want to recommend, because sometimes even the backrest not be an ideal thing, and you may
Right.
need some extra cushion to
Right.
have that arch. So
Correct.
anything you want to comment on that?
Yeah, sure. So we have the gel back cushion pillows, which are very good. Like I'm
Correct.
using one currently, while I'm sitting here.
Yes.
Because when you have to sit for long hours, I mean, it's not like you just sit for half an hour or 1 hour. Teachers have to sit, I mean, especially teachers, they have to sit for long hours on the classroom sessions, as well as then making the notes for the next day and correcting assignments. It's a lot
Absolutely.
of sitting job for the teachers. So a back gel cushion
Absolutely.
would be a good support to the back, because it kind of gives you comfort and you don't feel the strain. So that could be definitely one
Correct.
thing to use. And at times what we've experienced, and we've handled a lot, specifically in the COVID era. So also a lot of times we have got this kind of feedback of or rather complaints from people that sitting long hours has caused pain in the back also. And if the
Back pain,
is,
yes.
yeah, and if pain is a little more, then there's a product that we have, which is a cold compression back wrap, where there's an ice pack which can be frozen and then attached by Velcro on the brace, and then there is a pump to apply pressure. So the RICE therapy, the rest ice compression elevation, is applied, and the pain relief is much faster. So these kind of things are there. We've been selling a lot in the pandemic because of, again, long sitting hours by corporate IT teachers and a lot of other professions who have to sit for long hours.
Right. Even use of these blue screen filters and all also might help teachers to cut off the visual strain as well.
Absolutely.
So I think, just in a nutshell, yes, choose a right device, keep it in a right position, make sure you are erect. Neutrality is the key. Firm groundedness is one of the key, and of course maintain your curves by all these aids and appliances, and with a good armrest and the backrest, and cut off the blue light filter if possible.
Absolutely true.
These are certain guidelines which we may look at.
Absolutely. Also, do you suggest it's a good idea taking frequent breaks in between?
Yes. Yes, that's very true. So it's not only for teachers, Achal. I do physiotherapy, and I know how much of movement-based exercises we are into when we do one-to-one training, and how much difficulty even I had to face when it came to conducting online classes. And I realized when our appointments were lined up for next 3 or 4 hours, and when I used to sit for hours and hours, I ended up spending, ending my day with back pain and neck pain. Then I realized how important it was for me to move at least, after every session when I move from client to client. But again, even when we compare it with children and teachers interacting with each other for next 60 minutes or 45 minutes, I think I would really recommend this, after 20 minutes, give a minute or two for the teachers and even for children to just pause the session, just walk around and come back.
That's a good
That really helps.
Okay.
That really helps, because our human body is not tuned in to hold the posture for longer duration. And especially coming from a background when you are performing, you are delivering your lectures by moving around, interacting by gestures, all these things. It's very difficult for teachers to connect with people and children without gestures and movement.
Absolutely.
So it's very important that frequent breaks are equally given for the children, because attention span can be challenging for children also in this online module of education. So I think every 20 minutes, if we can have a short break of a minute or two,
Mhm.
it would really increase the productivity to come back and refocus back once again in a better way. And more importantly, teachers get that advantage to
Mhm.
not go in that phase of strain or stress
Hmm.
by overholding their posture for a longer period of time if
Right.
they have back-to-back sessions. So
Correct.
I think frequent breaks is something I would really recommend, highly recommend it.
Super valuable tip, Dr. Harish. Thank you so much for that. And also, you suggest any stretching along with the movement, which needs to be done?
Yeah, so see, yes, so absolutely. Now, if we look at, as you said, choose a right chair or choose a right place where you can teach without restricting the movement, right? So I would recommend teachers, whichever place you choose from your home, I mean, at your home or in your school, whatever seating arrangements you are looking at, make sure you have good freedom of movement.
Okay.
That is one thing. Second, yes, after every session, make sure you do some basic, rotational movement. Just stretch your arm, just stretch your back, turn around, twist around, all. Add components of rotations as much as you can.
Right.
Turning your neck, looking up and down, performing this clockwise and anti-clockwise movements, moving your shoulders, stretching your arms forward, backward, turning your spine. All these basic movements are important, which will maintain your flexibility, and it will ensure your posture doesn't get locked in that position for next 3 to 5 hours of whatever on-screen time the teachers are going to spend. So add a component of rotation.
Okay.
It could be as simple as twisting your arm.
Yes. Yeah, the fingers again are getting tired as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
after every session, it's advised.
Yeah, highly recommended. After every session, move your neck, twist your arms, twist
Right.
your spine, just walk around and come back, have a sip of water, and restart again for the next session after 15-20 minutes of break.
So you mentioned water, so that's another question that I wanted to ask you. Like, how do you strike a balance between movement, diet, sleep, hydration? How do you do this, and how really important is this?
So actually, you know what? Even in last 6 months of my online practice, I have realized online sessions are not easy as I had thought.
Yes.
There is
true.
a huge difference between offline sessions and online sessions, and now I realize, how intensely it can fatigue you through these online sessions, and the level of attention you need to pay when you're performing your online sessions, even the pre-preparatory phase, the actual online session, and you're preparing for the next day.
Hmm.
It immensely pushes your performance to the peak,
Right.
because you do not have a direct connect with the child. You have to be on your toes to
Correct.
deliver the best of your sessions.
Correct.
So I have realized it's very much challenging. It can drain you out if you're not prepared, and especially if you do not have a good balance between your sleep, diet, and hydration levels along with movement. This can really impact and reduce your performance.
Correct.
Because the end of the day, our brain needs energy. It is a high consumption organ, and when we are doing all this high intellectual sessions with children, which require so much of attention, research also says that good hydration levels will help your brain to perform at an optimum level.
Correct.
So I have seen, if your hydration levels are less, you will feel lethargic. You may end up having headache, soreness of the eyes. Your body may, start paining. Your performance may drastically go down. So it's very important that your diet should not get compromised. No matter what, how much ever the intense work teachers are doing, make sure you have these 3 or 4 meals nicely spaced out, without compromising your routine. Increase your hydration levels. Make sure you have good 8 hours of sleep, and you have ample movement. Do not get restricted to your work and household chores that limit your movement. So it would be, advisable, do couple of, moves of yoga, do some breathing exercises, conscious thinking, do some, aerobic exercises, do whatever your passion is, but move differently.
Right.
Move differently is something I would say for at least 5 to 10 minutes throughout the day
So that's
to
very
make sure your joints are flexible.
It's very important, and it's very easy to forget about hydrating yourself once you're on 3-4 hours of a deep
Absolutely.
session.
Absolutely.
You know, it's really
Absolutely.
forget about it, but then yes, as you said, one must remember to keep having water and be well hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Absolutely.
Right. Also, what are stressors, Dr. Harish? You can just elaborate on that.
Yeah, so stressors could be any factor, Achal, that's going to increase stress levels, mentally and physically.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, if I sit in an awkward position, that could be a stressor for me. Okay, or anything internal. Okay, so your diet also is so important. If you don't eat well, your diet can actually be a stressor which can increase your stress levels inside, right? Let's take an example, your environment. I hope and I wish, we are always surrounded by people who support us.
Right.
So if you are in an environment which is so negatively challenged, those can be stressors. So stressors may vary for you, for me, and for every person.
Yes.
So make sure wherever you are, whatever you are doing, carrying out your roles and responsibilities, identify your stressors.
Okay.
That kind of gives you a sense of discomfort that do not allow you to participate and express freely the way you want it to be. As I said, again, it could be anything. It could be your posture, it could be your chair, it could be your people around, it could be your diet, it could be lack of sleep. I don't know. So it is every individual's responsibility that they consciously slow down and understand what are these stressors and see if you can overcome them. Because if we neglect these stressors, they are only going to amplify over a period of time and they are going to push you back. One commonest example could be, I felt pain today after 3 hours of Zoom sessions and I neglect this stressor.
Yeah.
Imagine if I continue to do this for 2 weeks and 3 weeks, I will end up with a very bad chronic pain, which may need a lot of time to recover back. So, don't neglect your stresses. Whatever it could be, don't neglect your stresses.
So one should take
it could be mental or physical stresses.
So what you suggest
very much seriously.
So what you suggest is being aware about it, consciously aware about it, and second is to take it seriously.
Fix address it. If possible, address it. So I'm sure, there would be so many teachers who are in their 40s, 50s, and with 40s and 50s, we all know there are wear and tear that is happening in our body. And with this sustained postures where you have to focus, deliver for a couple of hours without moving, it's going to challenge your musculoskeletal system and you're going to get more prone for pains and aches. And if these are your stressors, it will be advisable that you start working physically to tone up your body and avoid a good ergonomical postures and make sure you follow these protocols so that your problems don't aggravate after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, which again would really make your performance to go down. So maybe what you are able to do today, you may not be able to do it after a month. That way.
Very well said, Dr.
So these are certain things.
Yeah, very well said, Dr. Harish. At times, we just ignore, we kind of neglect those minor aches and those minor stressors, thinking it's really minor, but they add on cumulatively, and become a serious concern later on. So I think that's a very valuable tip that you've given us, to be aware, to be conscious, and to address it at the pain point itself, at the time it points itself.
Absolutely.
So that was really, really insightful, Dr. Harish, and I'm sure our viewers have, have drawn huge benefit from your session, and we look forward to hearing.
So actually, just to add on to, we are in a era where we are moving towards mindfulness and conscious thinking, and I would really, tell all the teachers, see if you can incorporate just to slow down completely. It will help you. Be more mindful and conscious about your doing. I know addressing to 60 and hundreds of students can be very stressful, challenging, and you might not even realize, you are into a wrong posture because your thought process are so intensively there to make sure you are connected with your children. You may compromise on your critical postures. So slowing down and consciously be aware of your own mental and physical well-being is the first step towards your own health to be a priority. So I think mindfulness is something we all should incorporate in your lifestyle.
That was wonderful, Dr. Harish, and very truly said. Teachers are only concerned to get the right message across to their children, and they, in the bargain, they do compromise with their own health. And this is a super tip that you've given.
Absolutely,
Be
Achal.
aware and conscious. Thank you so much, Dr.
Absolutely.
Harish, and thank you everybody for
Thank you,
listening.
Achal.
And we look forward to having Dr. Harish again now to share some more insightful and mindful tips with us in future. And here's wishing everybody, all teachers here, a very, very happy Teachers' Day. And thank you so much for all that you do for the children of this world. Thank you.